Now, right this way, please. Next. This picture is called the Triumph of Neptune. This is, it's also a commission by Mr. Laborde. This represents the triumphal procession of Titus and Vespasian. I got the idea from a book that was written by a Jewish writer and general, Josephus, who was employed by Vespasian to write an account of the Jewish war that Titus and Vespasian were waging against Judea. And both of them attended a Roman triumphal procession. And in the book by Josephus, there is an actual description of the entire procession. And it's the only one that's come down from antiquity. And since it's an ancient document, it sort of has these gaps in them. And when he describes this procession, he describes it as what sounds like a carnival parade, right? Because the triumphor, who is the man that, or the men in this case, the father and son, that tended the triumphal procession for their victory by the Senate, preceded the entire procession in a chariot. And there would usually be a slave standing in the back with a crown over the triumphor's head and say, "Remember, thou art only a man. Remember, thou art only a man." Because the classical Greeks and Romans, they could experience these kind of events. They would suddenly think of themselves as gods, right? Which is really why the Romans got in so much trouble with their emperors, because power sort of corrupted totally. And well, anyway, that's what the triumph preceded the parade. Now then Josephus describes the parade itself. And what it is, it's actually floats that are decorated, wagons which are tableaux roulants, which are decorated to represent each of the events in the Judean war, the battles, see? And on the floats, instead of, well, you hear the masked people throwing, men throwing beads and stuff, were the prisoners themselves in golden chains. And each float represented the battles that they were captives, they were captured in. And so, but then the account ends with the words, "And then came the ships," and then it's out. You don't exactly know what that meant. But what I thought was that what they were ships that were actually part of the naval battles that maybe were fought in that war. So what you see here is one of the ships being presented, being carried in procession. Now what they're going past, though, there's references. Like, for instance, this edifice here is the Arch of Augustus, which is erected by the Senate in honor of his victory, naval victory over the fleet of Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of, I think it's Actium. It was a naval battle. So it refers back to the naval imagery. And this is the marriage of, I got this from a Roman sarcophagus, the marriage of Amphitrite and Neptune. That's what this represents. And then I said, and then this is a sort of an aquatic turtle fountain, right? Now this is a little esoter I put in. There's no evidence of it archaeologically, but I thought it would be really this formal device, this curving out of the picture plane. And of course, here's the band playing. There's a band playing. And this is the cult statue of Neptune. And they're going past the temple of Julius Caesar right here. And this over here would be the temple of Castor and Pollux. And this arch, I reconstructed. There's a Roman coin. It's the only evidence. And this arch is not there anymore. It was destroyed at some point. It's gone. But there's a visual evidence of it in a Roman coin. So I reconstructed that from the Roman coin itself. So and of course this is the entrance to the Palatine Hill over here, and this is the Temple of Vesta, the house of the Vestal Virgins. It's all in one corner of the Roman Forum. So now what? Now where do we go?